The government is currently debating Bill C-2, which they keep claiming is a border security bill. But the Liberals have also put this into the bill.
To do the searches.
Questions, comments? The honourable member for Calgary Nose Hill.
Speaker, if Bill C-2 passes, it would allow CSIS, police, and peace officers to demand personal info from online service providers without a warrant, based only on vague suspicions of potential crime or legal breaches on any act of Parliament. Whether a Canadian uses an online service, where they use it, and when they use it is personal information, and the government has not provided a charter statement for the same. If this bill combined with Bill C-63, the government could target whatever the government deems to be spreading hateful content, and it would combine with C-63 basically to essentially form censorship Voltron. You know, the government has not indicated what policy concerns, aside from vague references to security, these provisions are needed for. These snooping provisions are a massive poison pill that shouldn't have been included in this bill. Why, once again, as they did with C-63, are the Liberals making Canadians choose between their civil liberties and their safety, and also fixing the broken immigration system that the Liberals broke themselves?
And that's why this bill will most likely not pass unless the Liberals once again get the support from either the Bloc or the NDP. And to no shock at all, the Liberal minister once again fails to answer questions.
Does this minister know how many sexual assaults were reported in 2021?
Honourable Minister.
Not exactly, Madam Speaker, but it is something that is of serious concern to all Canadians.
The honourable member.
You don't know the number. Madam Speaker, does this minister know how many victims of interpartner violence there was in 2022?
The honourable minister.
Madam Speaker, I've met with many those who have been impacted by intimate partner violence. In my previous role as Secretary of State, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Justice, I met many organizations and women who have been...
The honourable member.
C2 being costed?
The honourable minister.
Madam Speaker, this is something that Canadians asked for in the election.
I'm not sure if you caught that, but her facial expression says it all. When asked if the bill has been costed, he simply just parrots a question period talking point or answer. And because he didn't give an answer, that means they did not calculate the total expenses or cost associated with said bill.
How many net new frontline CBSA officers will be serving at the land borders between Canada and the US as a result of his bill?
Minister.
Investment of $1.3 billion we're making towards the border, we will have 1,000 CBSA and 1,000 new RCMP officers to secure the border.
By what date will they be at their posts?
Honourable Minister.
We will be able to provide those operational details to the member in short order, Mr. Speaker.
How many shipping containers are scanned on a monthly basis at the Canada-US border?
The honourable minister.
Again, Mr. Speaker, I'll be able to provide that information to my colleague at a later date.
The honourable member.
Are there scanners at the ports of entry at Johnstown and Lansdowne to scan containers or trucks at the border?
Minister.
For operational reasons, Mr. Speaker, I probably shouldn't be answering that question.
The honourable member.
I would encourage the minister, through you, Mr. Chair, to either get numbers or some information, or we can both go to those ports of entry and take a look for ourselves to see the lack of infrastructure to scan the cans that are coming across the border at those two locations. How many firearms have been seized at the land borders between Canada and the United States?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, there's been a number of seizures of firearms in different operations. There's Operation Blizzard that was completed recently. There was a earlier seizure of a number of firearms. I don't have the exact number, but in terms of...
The honourable member.
Minister, I've asked, Mr. Chair, I have asked the minister a number of questions seeking specifics on the bill that they've prioritized as number 2 in the order. Their first bill that they've put forward in this Parliament, the Minister hasn't been able to provide any of the details that would satisfy some of the most pressing issues facing our country right now. Minister, where does it say in your legislation that you will repeal any of the laws passed by the Liberals that have weakened bail conditions and allowed dangerous offenders to stay on our streets?
Minister, in 12 seconds.
As I've indicated earlier, Mr. Speaker, this is not a bail reform bill, it's a border bill.
And it's this moment right here that shows that they have no foothold when it comes to pushing this bill, and they most likely will not get the confidence from the rest of the House in passing it.
The Prime Minister recently appointed Lametti as Principal Secretary in the PMO, the same minister who was fired by Justin Trudeau, who authorized the illegal declaration of an emergency and who gutted and weakened our criminal justice system. Are you proud of that appointment?
Again, through the chair, the Honourable Minister.
Former Minister Lametti is an outstanding Canadian of true integrity. He is an academic, and his stature is beyond reproach by this Parliament.
And once again, we have Melanie Joly here doing a reporter briefing. And honestly, she just needs to stop doing these and actually focus on her job for a few days, because based on the things she says time and time again, it sounds like they've made zero progress.
The industry is asking the government to immediately bring in tariffs to target the countries, not just individual companies that routinely dump cheap steel into the Canadian market. That's something you could do right now. Will you do it?
So a lot of the conversation was about how we can make sure that we protect our domestic market, and we're working on solutions. That's why the industry and myself will continue to engage in the coming hours and days, because we need to get to a good plan together.
We need to get to a good plan together. They don't even have a plan.
Please, and as well, you know, Trump and Carney are talking. Are you any closer to reaching a deal? How would you describe those discussions?
Guys, do you really think I'll answer that question? No, but I won't answer that question. We won't negotiate in public, and we'll let the Prime Minister do his work, and we will let all ministers do their work. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was very convincing. Once again, no plan. Shouldn't shock us at this point. It's not about doing negotiations publicly. It's about doing the things you said you were going to do. The very things you guys ran on, which clearly haven't been working. It feels like we are very close to a vote of non-confidence here. Nothing is going to happen during this spring Parliament session. They're going to go into the summer recess. They're going to come out into the fall with apparently a budget at the very minimum. That's what they've claimed. And it feels like they're not going to get a single thing passed. It doesn't sound like they're tackling issues in a way that would appease all sides of the aisle, all parties. And yes, it is a minority government, but the Liberals once again have failed to unite the House of Commons to gain any support. It is only a matter of time before this non-confidence vote comes. Anyway, I want to know what you think down in the comments section below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you are new, and thank you very much for watching.